What's up, gentlemen?
That felt like the longest intro we ever had.
As I said, it was the extended club mix. That was one on the B side of the Maxi cassette single.
Too much.
Dude, the whole thing is very on mine. It was like, I don't even know what's going on. How's everybody doing? Welcome into City Pigeons episode 62. We named this one Winning Fugly, which is obviously us alluding to the last couple weeks, really the whole season of the Eagles, which has been us just winning no matter what, which has obviously been fantastic. But good to see you guys again after our rendezvous on Sunday down in M-Lot. And everybody dry out and warm up after that tailgate and fantastic game there.
Yeah,
We
Jesse,
stayed pretty dry.
Jesse invited me, Rock, and Tom to the game, and his seats were under the overhang, so we didn't really get wet the entire game. It was kind of perfect.
There's literally
Must have been nice.
The greatest game maybe ever played at Lincoln Financial Field in perfect warmth and dryness while everyone else got soaked, including the
Fink,
players.
Mark, how was it getting soaked out there while we were bone dry?
I'll be honest, it was such a glorious game and such an amazing experience that I didn't realize how soaked I was until I got home and started taking off all the layers and like the bottom layers of clothing. And I had like 5 layers on were wet. I was like, wow, must have been raining pretty hard out there.
What about you?
Respectfully, Mark is full of shit because if you were out in that rain, you knew you were wet. I was freaking miserable.
Yeah,
I was miserable sitting there at halftime. You're down 10. I'm wet. Your undershirt's wet.
Let's introduce the guy in the bottom right square to the show. This is a pretty much a blog legend, and I mean not pretty much. He is a writing legend. He doesn't want to be known as a sports blog legend, but he's one of the greatest writers in Philly sports history. It's
second only
Daulerio,
Titans blog, obviously.
the former editor in chief of Deadspin, used to work at Philly Mag. He's got a newsletter right now called The Small Bow for recovering addicts, and a good podcast called Really Good Shares, where people with problems come on and tell their stories.
What kind of problems do people come on with my podcast? What are you alluding to exactly?
I mean,
what does that mean?
It's not
kind of problem.
I'm just trying to give you a nice introduction here, AJ. I'm not.
That's fine. I just didn't know it was a problem.
No, maybe former problems. You had. Okay, trying to get over
it's all
issues.
Right. It's all right.
AJ.
Welcome, AJ.
AJ, thank you for joining us.
Absolutely.
And obviously, you're a guy that's done a lot of different things and is a very interesting person in a lot of regards. And tell us real quick a little bit about the podcast and what it is all about. I don't know if it's as sophisticated as ours. Does it look like Hollywood Squares when you do your podcast, or is that
no? We used to. I mean, unfortunately for me, my podcast ended 2 years ago because my contract was up. But I'm glad Mike Meach kept up with all this. This is amazing to be here.
I didn't say it was a recent podcast. I said you.
No, it's all right. I did. I had one. I had one through the iHeart Radio program, which iHeart, if anyone does not know, they're the AOL of podcast companies, basically. Like nobody listens to them.
Right.
But
so
they're
now
huge.
Is it the Substack, right?
I went over to Substack. It was a site, and then I went over to Substack because everybody's over at Substack. I told Meach that you guys should go on Substack. You can clean up there. Yeah, that's where all the money is.
Get me there. There's not a lot of money at where I'm at, so let's go to Substack. I'm in. How is that different than what's cool about Substack? Tell me.
Because you can have instant access to readership, right? I mean, it's they find audience for you. So Philly sports, they'll just put you up with all the people, and then everybody will pay money for it. I mean, all the audience that you can't find right now because it's like social media is a wasteland.
Yeah,
they find it for you. That's really it.
Amazing.
That's great. Yeah, can't complain.
Where are you coming to?
We'll get more with AJ later, but let's get back to.
Yeah, AJ,
A
we're
little
muting you.
tailgate that we had.
No, AJ, I want to grant you the right to chime in at any moment on anything that we talk about.
Wait, why did I get muted already?
No, you didn't get muted. I'm just talking figuratively. No,
It actually looks like AJ's in Rock's basement, like on the other side.
I apologize. I'm trying to because my kids are about to go to sleep and then
yeah,
Looks
we
Yeah,
scheduled
that's
this
why I
thing
had
at
to come to a
9.
different location.
That's why we're here, AJ,
Yeah.
is because this is where we need to come to get peace and quiet from our children in the chaos under
Yeah.
our roofs.
Those guys are at the coop, which is our kind of studio space, and everyone else is probably in their basement. Although Fink, because of the fact that he has his significant other is like a, basically an award-winning media personality. He has
Partnered
something that looks like he's on ESPN behind him.
Right.
Fink, what are you eating?
By the
dude?
way, AJ has a daughter named Iverson. How great is that?
Wow,
Oh, that is cool.
That's all. That's great.
that's very cool.
Calls her
Very
Ivy.
That's
Cool.
great. Oh, that's incredible.
All right. Well, speaking of Fink and his kind of faux celebrity over there.
By the way, if Danielle would let me name my kid Iverson, I would have a full kid.
Yeah. You named your kid Ben. It's just not the same. But shout out to Ben. So Fink, I think it hands down, anybody who was at the tailgate can agree that you were tailgate MVP on Sunday. There was a moment, and I think anybody who's paying any attention to what we've been doing saw the clip of you and the Bird Gang really going for it there. And with Devin on hand, it just created a moment. Like, what made you feel like you had to take it to that next level on Sunday?
I don't know. That was a bad idea by me. I'll tell you that.
Just
man.
say your team needed you.
My team needed me. They asked me to come in the big moments. So I had to do it big ish.
Well,
It was bad. No, it was fun. But it needs to get that little turned up a little bit.
And
beautiful.
he needed
Get ready
build
for the
that,
podcast. The rain was bringing people down. Everyone was getting upset.
nobody was getting upset. He needed to build that inside warmth to hang out in the rain for 4 hours.
No, you had an alacrity,
Yeah.
the likes of which I haven't seen out of you at prior tailgates, and I like to think it carried us to the second half comeback there. But
I'm all about the team.
I think Fink was mad at me because he showed up like 3 hours late with 2 big Lissio's bread boxes full of hoagies, and I didn't meet him on like Front Street to go help him carry them. He came over. He gave me like this
What
look
time
at
was that at?
I don't know, right before the podcast started, and he was supposed to be
Was
there
it close to his
a few hours
12:36
earlier.
arrival?
I think if you
But he
show
looked
up,
aggravated, so maybe he was taking out his anger on that bottle of Bird Gang whiskey.
if you show up with 2 gigantic things of Fink's hoagies, you can show up pretty much at any time. That's what I've learned.
I had a text message to Meech, and I was like, "Hey, Meech, I'm so desperate. I need help. Please save me." And you know who didn't come in for the team? It was Meech.
Sad.
That's because Meech was already with the rest of the team setting up
I
the
was
tent and
I was
doing all that
social.
stuff.
I was trying to socialize with people and bring city pigeons to the masses. Well,
But we're over. Me and Meech made up.
We had something happen that just warms my heart. We had 2 instances of this this week with Dan McQuaid as well. Anytime people create their own content using the content that we've created, I just love that. And we had the meme. Fink, see if you can pull that up. We had the meme of the Fink. Somebody took a clip of Fink while he was drinking, and then immediately after he made this face that you can really, it's hard to describe. And it was the face where as soon as he finished, he looked at Devin, and Devin was looking at him. And I don't know if you guys know, when he was doing it, she exclaimed, "Eric, no." And right after he looks at her and he makes this face. And
Can you see that? Did it work?
You know what? Oh, dude, wait, this is crazy. It's like a separate thing on here. Hold on.
There you go.
Oh, there it is.
Yo, I don't even know how we're doing this. Beautiful. Somebody came up with this. Who you guys know this this persona, don't you, Meech?
Who is that?
That's Ort.
Ort.
oh yeah, that's Ort. Yeah,
Yeah, you guys
it's
know
not
Ort.
persona. She's a Twitter girl.
I was gonna say, I don't know. You guys know these people, but this is Ort, and this was beautiful. And so when I saw this, I said, it's a before and after. In the second picture, he's looking so, I said, I just know he's got to be looking at Devin. What's he thinking? And so we created a little caption contest here for people to kind of put words in or say what Fink is thinking here. And go ahead.
Oh, before I bring up the other photos, can we just admire how good my baby blues look right in these photos? Oh, they look nice.
You're
a weirdo, Fink.
They were nice. My
kind of weirdo though. Finky.
I have to say thank you to Ort because I used this for the episode thumbnail, so I got to see it nice and big, and I did notice that the eyes were shining there, Fink. So I got to give you some credit.
Thank you.
Now we know what Devin sees in you. Anyway, listen, we started this caption contest to say whoever comes up with the best caption for what you're thinking in this photo will get a free City Pigeons shirt. And so we're just going to go through some of these and we can pick the best one. And I just kind of narrowed it down to a couple good ones. So
that's what they call in the comedy biz a callback. You wouldn't understand that one unless you understand the origin story of Fink and Dev, correct?
Where I asked her to beat me with a baseball bat.
Can you explain that real quick, Fink?
She was at the Phillies game with her friend, and I thought that she looked very nice on that night. So I tweeted her and asked her if she would beat me with Kyle Schwarber's baseball bat. Like a true romantic person.
This was all captured.
Now you have the backdrop. Yeah. Now you have the backdrop a year and a half later.
Right. And this it was all captured in the Reply Guy article, right? Which vaulted you to status as one of the top reply guys in the country. But
and don't you forget it.
No, we won't forget it. This one says, "Okay, I have the bat. You ready, DK?" That's pretty good. I like that. Who's our next contender, Finkster?
It's
not easy.
I don't even know.
I know.
No, it's not.
Look at this. Oh, what a mess.
Here, preview.
This looks like my mom's work computer with just a bunch of thumbnails and tabs open.
Just don't pull open the wrong photo.
No, look at this one.
This is the worst in my life.
This one by @Tony North Dakota. Why did that fart feel wet?
Tony, maybe because it was pouring rain. Tony.
Thanks. Thank you, Meech.
You're welcome.
Children picking out these screenshots here.
Yeah, we can't use this one. Thank you though for your contributions. Thank you so much. Who's our next contender here on the Fink caption contest?
That's the wrong one. I'm bad at this. I'm not the tech guy.
Well-produced
this one. I'm going to say this is one of my favorites.
Yeah, I think.
That's a good one right there. That's the
mine.
winner right there.
Yeah, I think we might. My thought process is we would pull it up last, but it came up early because I think this is probably the winner. It's not necessarily the funniest one, but it's the most accurate when it comes to the game. And so somebody has watching the first half on the side where he's drinking the bottle, and then watching the second half on the side where he's making the goofball face. So yeah, that's probably going to be hard to beat. But there's a couple other.
Is that what we're calling it? The goofball face?
I mean, what are you calling it?
I don't know. I was just asking.
That's kind of like your O face or something there.
We call it blue. We call it blue steel. Remember blue steel from Zoolander? There we go.
I am so bad at this. I should have.
Oh God!
There was 3 or 4 replies like this. I don't know. Are we kink shaming in the year of 2023?
No, that's why that should be the winner right there.
Yeah, this one says the first picture. Why is her finger back there? Second one. Not bad. And I don't know who they're alluding to on this, Fink, but that is dirty stuff, and I don't feel comfortable with
shaming, it. Jesse. No.
Yeah, I don't feel comfortable.
You picked these.
Yeah, I did. This is a good one. So I love this kind of stuff because somebody now goes and finds the picture of Devin looking pretty irritated at the what appears to be, I think this is the media football game at the Novacare complex, right, Fink?
That must have been an overturned call or something right there. She doesn't look happy.
So she's standing next to Jason Avant.
She looks pissed because she's not in the game. She's on the sideline.
She looks pissed off. And
the quote says, "Coach, I'm ready to go." Look.
The quote says, "Keep drinking." So the obvious implication here is that she's pissed off about your activities, which surprisingly, she seemed okay with it. So, do we have any more? I can't tell.
Yeah, well, we're just gonna, I think, end it at that.
Okay, let's end it at that. So, are we going to give the T-shirt to the first half, second half? Who was that?
Think, was there any discussion? Like, did Devin bring up this chug of whiskey at any other point in the day or the game and say, "Oh, you shouldn't have done that. I see what's happening right now," or anything like that? Or was she full support mode?
Oh no, we're a team. She supports me fully, so she was happy that I was having a good time.
Good.
DK, listen, that wasn't an anomaly, you know, as far as DK's daily activities are concerned, in which he has to deal with Fink. So,
that was just Fink turned up a couple notches.
What was actually going through your head there?
I would like to say I got a text this morning from Matt from Kenwood, and he said, "Do you have my tap in your trunk?" And I'm like, "I don't see why I would have my tap in my trunk, but I'll check." I open my trunk and there's a box in my trunk. I have no recollection of putting this box in my trunk, and I wasn't that bad when I left the tailgate to not remember putting a box in my trunk. So I said to him, I go, "Dude, Matt, like, I think something might be wrong with me. I don't even remember putting this box." He goes, "No, Mark called me and said he put it in there." How did you get in my trunk, Mark? Did I open it for you?
The trunk was open. Jesse's truck was full. You also have all of our cups and my cups.
I brought them up here. They're now in the coop.
But if they've been given out throughout the community, I'm okay with that.
We have all the cups, and I have all your koozies as well.
There you go.
They're right up here. But I was just wondering. I thought
trunk was open, and Jesse's truck was full. And it's funny. Matt was perfectly willing to leave like half a full keg, the containers and all that stuff in the parking lot. And he said to me, "Oh, someone will grab it and get a deposit out of it." And he's like, "But I just want the tap." So
guys, the weird thing is I don't have the Matt and the tap location story in my notes for the show. I just didn't know.
Sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't know everything had to be scripted. I thought we could go off the cuff a little bit.
Yeah, thanks, Jess. Thanks. I was like, where's this going?
I didn't know this was like Cheers.
Poor AJ down in the bottom right hand corner is like,
that's
what
why
the fuck
I
is
told
going
AJ
on?
we bring him in at the 20-minute mark, so he didn't have to be
crazy
all of our inside nonsense.
Crazy about the tap in the trunk that you didn't remember that. Yes, definitely. But look, here's the deal. That turned into a huge game. I'm sitting there. By the way, I had a text from Devin that said, I texted her in the game, so is Fink alive? And she said, he's currently trying to fight a woman who told him to stop yelling at Bills.
That's not true.
You're fighting women in the stands, according to your significant other.
No, so there was Bills fans in our section who were openly being annoyingly standing up, cheering, clapping, looking at people. So when we're doing good, of course I'm going to give them hell. And the lady sitting in front of me just turns around and she goes, "Don't you think you could turn it down a notch with it?" And I was just like, "Me?" And then I just
spinal tap up to 11 at all times.
And so I was like, "Oh, you want me to turn it down?" So then I just went out a little bit above and beyond with my.
Fink, are you the Go Birds kid? You know the kid that was yelling at the Vikings lady and right in her face, "Go Birds, go Birds." Is that you, Fink?
No, I don't know what you're talking about.
No, the Vikings kid. The Vikings kid. All right, well, look, here's the deal. That game, we went in there. We were packing up in the rain at that point. Just so Lindsay knows, Rock, I do have a light. Becca got a light for some of the stuff she does, so I'm using that to brighten myself up here.
I will tell you, I got bad juju at halftime when my least favorite song of all time was performed live at halftime. Do you guys remember that?
Yeah, I remember that. It was Rob Bass. "I Want to Rock." What do you mean?
It Takes Two.
It Takes Two. I'm sorry.
Was the halftime performance, and it's honest to God the most annoying song ever created. I hate it, and
I don't understand why you hate that song.
And I just
go ahead.
In my mind it was bad because I don't have many least favorite songs that are rap, but that is probably number one.
I think that song. That's got to be an unpopular take. Let's bring in AJ on that.
What's up, Devin?
DK,
Devin's there. As soon as I go to AJ, It
Yeah,
takes
an
two.
unpopular take because if you listen to the song "It Takes Two," it is horrible.
What do you mean? Listen to it? How?
Rap from then is
Listen
horrible,
to it
man.
like
No, it's a wonderful song.
Like it's just a bad song. It's annoying.
It's not. It's not. You're
I think
completely
he's
wrong about
being-
this.
I think he's being a contrarian, AJ, because like everybody
not.
seems to
Yeah.
like that song.
I mean, no, he's a cynical man who's
We know
very
that.
unhappy with lots of things. You know,
Like,
I get
like
it.
I'll tell you what, the Humpty Dance is a perfect rap pop song.
I think
DJ
the Humpty
Easy Rock,
Dance
It
is
Takes
probably
Two,
the worst.
and Rob Bass, it's a 1 out of 10.
That's crazy.
Didn't Shock G
wanna,
die?
stop
So you
the
can't
show
really
right
bring
now
that back.
and then go to the internet and like solve this. This is an appalling take from Meech of all people.
All right.
If for
I
no
got a
other
question,
reason than
though.
the historical significance, you can be like, listen, I don't like it. It's not my jam. But
Name-
that's a banger.
Name another song Rob Bass and DJ Easy
Joy
Rock.
and Pain.
That's
Joy and Pain. Joy and Pain.
2. They did 2.
That's
They're
it.
pretty monsters.
Yeah,
They're not monsters.
Okay.
they're monsters. Yeah.
I have a related question then. What do you think about Bust a Move by Young MC?
Excellent song.
You know, that's pretty good, but he was
Same
more,
vein.
you know, Young MC, I don't know why we go down this fucking rabbit hole, and I drag myself down this, but Young MC used to write for like Tone Loc and all those guys too. Like he wrote for a bunch of people back then that was, you know, that had popular songs. So Funky Cold Medina, what was the other Tone Loc? Wild Thing. Young MC wrote all those. So he's even better than his shit. Rob Bass never wrote anything. I don't even think he wrote It Takes Two. That was probably like a Milli Vanilli type shit.
Wow. All right.
Anyway, AJ.
Rob Bass, Easy Rock,
Welcome,
8
AJ.
out of 10. Yeah. Joy and Pain,
All right.
9 out of 10. Yeah. That's where I'm going to rank all this stuff. Yeah.
So we load up this truck in the rain, break it all down. We get into the game. The first half was about as bad a half of football as you could ever see. And at that time, I'm thinking, if it stays this way and I walk home, you know, I leave this stadium, rain, you know, wet, cold, and they lose like this, I'm going to be so angry. And then all of a sudden the whole thing just goes back and forth and back and forth. And then we win despite everything.
Right.
And what we talked about we talked about this at the tailgate, guys. There's already this narrative going on about, you know, how we were getting lucky and how, you know, we hadn't actually played better than our opponents and we hadn't played well and yada, yada, yada. And then I heard that rant this week by, you know, Skip Bayless about us being lucky, all this crap that people
rants about anything. He doesn't even know
Get
he's
him
ranting
on
about it
a
anymore.
fucking rocket and put it into the ocean.
Yeah,
Put him in the ocean. That's exactly right. In a rocket. In a rocket for some reason. Yeah.
Yeah. So you're hearing all this, and you know, I think it's playing into our hands a little bit, right? The Eagles are still underdogs in this game, Meech, as our gamblers, right? What's the line right now?
They're 2.5 point underdogs, which is just it's silly. Even Shanahan admitted he has no idea how it happened. But if they were in Frisco, I could understand it. But I don't know what makes people doubt Jalen Hurts. But
it don't matter.
You get the most mediocre NFL players like Emmanuel Achu or Acho.
Yeah, it's a chew. Yeah.
Achu. He played for the Eagles for a season, and he sucked. He couldn't cover anybody. He's got the nerve. Did you see that rant he went on, where you look at him and he looks like a bad. Then you look at Josh Allen and you're like, that's a real quarterback. I'm like, what? I just can't stand these guys. They're not. You didn't make it in the NFL, and now you have mediocre. Your opinions are just as good as your play was in the NFL. Him, Dan Orlovsky, Chris Sims, all those fucking.
He also 15 minutes later had Hurts as his number 1 in MVP rankings after that whole thing.
Which brings me to another thing. Did you see these ESPN FPI rankings that they want you to take stock in? Nope. They have Eagles ranked as the number 7 team.
Oh, right.
6 of the 6 teams above them, they beat 5 of them head to head.
Right.
The only team they didn't beat head to head was the Ravens. But if you have an algorithm that spits this out and you just look at it logically and say, oh my God, the team that's ranked 7 beat 5 of the teams in front of them, you would just crumble up that algorithm, throw it away, and say we got to start over, right? No, ESPN, it's like their fucking QBR ratings. They've been trying to push this on people since like 1998. It means nothing. No one gives a shit about it. It has no relevance on an actual QB's ranking. They just come up with the dumbest shit and try and make you believe it.
I don't think they try to make you believe it. It's just for engagement, people engaging. I think everybody knows the Eagles are the best team in the league. These guys know it. These guys know Jalen Hurts is a clutch quarterback. They know he's better than who did I see this week? Sam Howell or whatever his name is, the guy from fucking DC. They just bring this shit up just to have people engage with them. That's what I think. I mean, there's no other reason why you can't see that the Eagles aren't the best team in the league. It's like if you don't have anything negative to talk about, then you got nothing to talk about. Bottom line in these sports things. I said this last week.
I put no credence in anything these guys say. I hate even teeing off on them because I don't want to bring their names up. I don't care about them. They're
unlike all you guys, AJ was once a bona fide national, kind of media guy. He has
absolutely. Yeah, I've got some takes.
Where are you now? Are you in Florida? Where are you now?
No, I'm in Los Angeles.
All right, you're in LA.
Yes.
So you're seeing all these crumb bums talking, all this stuff. Part of me is like, all right, it's BS. But at the same time, guys, we have watched the team. We're at the point now where we're just like riding so high on the fact that they just keep winning despite what doesn't look like great football for the most part. But up until the Chiefs game, I was definitely like, they haven't played well, So I'm not like apologizing for the national media, but it's not like they're blowing people's doors out. Right?
Nobody's blowing people's doors off, though.
So AJ,
it's the NFL.
What's your perception being out there in LA, seeing it, hearing it from a different perspective?
Right. No, because I was asking this is just like if they do lose this weekend and they do have like those rankings every single week where, I mean, even when the Eagles had the best record in the league, or a couple of people had them like third and fourth, they might drop out of like the top 6 if they lose one game, right? At this point. And it's funny because I was trying to remember, was there a team that's like this bad but this good at the same time? Because it's like you've had all of these kind of successful Philadelphia teams for a while, but I've never seen one that knows how to win like this team, right? I mean, that's the thing where it's just, and I kind of give Sirianni credit for that because, I mean, I think in terms of just like football coaches, the guy manufactures runs. He does the football equivalent of that like all the time, and he does that better than anyone in the league at this point, Yeah. Like that tush push. Remember last year when he was doing that crazy thing on extra points where he would like run everybody out and then try to get everybody to false start? And he was like doing that for a little while. Like, I mean, he's doing this
just
stuff.
Looking for that little edge. Yeah.
Just that little bit. That little bit. Right. And I think if you're going to credit wins, I think you have to kind of give him a lot of credit at this point. I don't see more than Jalen Hurts being MVP. I think Sirianni's coach of the year in a landslide. Right?
Yeah. Okay.
Which goes back to our, AJ, you weren't there, our first episode, but right before the football season, we talked about that, how coaches of the best teams usually don't win coach of the year. Like, and Dable won coach of the year last year, and look at the Giants now.
Yeah, wonderful team.
I mean, Sirianni, I couldn't agree with you more. This team embodies him, and, I just don't, I watch the Eagles more than I watch anyone else, start to finish. In fact, the Eagles are so good this year and so interesting and so compelling, and I'm so into it that I actually find myself watching less of other football because I'm so focused and so amped on the Eagles games. But I bet if you watch some of the other good teams, they're not playing 4 quarters all the time, and we're doing enough to win.
I'm watching the Cowboys play the bum-ass Seahawks right now, and they're struggling. So there you go. Aren't the Cowboys one of the best teams in the league?
It's because the Seahawks are above 500.
Now, this is how my brain was working this week. So the one time that we got over the hump, where we won the Super Bowl, everybody being against us obviously worked well for us, right? And this year we're starting to develop that, right? So I started thinking about it, and I started thinking, all right, San Francisco's been off for 10 days. However many games before that were blowouts for them. We just had a game where everybody played their most snaps. We just beat Kansas City, Buffalo. We got a couple games, edge. Now, I'm not saying like scheduled loss, folks, but I want to pose something to you. What's better outcome? If we go out and blow the doors off San Francisco and everyone's like, well, that's the end of that talk. Eagles are the best team. They just beat all these teams, right? I guess that's good. That's good for us for the 1 seed. Now, think about this. Eagles go and lose this game, okay? What's going to happen? The Skip Baylesses of the world, all these guys are going to pound it, right? Told you. It was luck. Eagles suck. To your point, AJ, they're going to go down to 6-7.
Yeah.
Cowboys are going to be the hottest shit, right? And we'll still have a good position for the 1 seed and control of our own destiny. So in a weird way, it occurred to me this week, Eagles might be better off in the long haul losing this game.
No.
Back,
Just a
baby,
thought.
back to being underdogs.
Tell me that's not a legitimate thought process, though.
I think
I mean,
they're
No.
underdogs.
No.
Process that you go through if you're trying to justify losing a game.
Yeah, seriously. That makes no sense to
I
me.
want to win. I mean, I want to beat the shit out of this stupid team
It's
with
beat the
Brock
shit out of
Purdy in there. I
with
want to
Brock
pick
Purdy.
him off 3
Yeah.
times, and I want to whoop their ass. To be honest with you, but
I
if
hear
we
what
don't,
you're saying.
like you said, it's not the end of the fucking world.
Right.
You know, we could still reset, use that as motivation, and I'd rather lose to them now than in the playoffs, obviously. So, I mean,
What if they go 16-1? That's and then losing the NFC Championship game. Does anyone remember this team?
No,
That's like
I mean,
You remember from
that's the
being
Patriots
failures.
team who lost to the Giants.
Well, I mean, they were an incredible team. That's what
yeah,
I'm
but they
saying.
were
I mean,
actually undefeated.
they were
up until
undefeated,
that game.
right?
No,
And
because-
they were blowing the doors off everybody.
Yeah.
guys, we
Except the
essentially
Giants.
had a 1-loss season last year, you know,
Right.
with how it all went, and we lost in the Super Bowl. So if we did the same thing and lost in the NFC Championship, you know, it's a step down, and then you start to have a reputation for being this great regular season team that can't get it done in the playoffs. I'm just looking at it like what motivates what has worked for us in the past. Now, last year, we didn't have that kind of underdog thing going on. We were the best team. In the playoffs, we barely had, you know, the way it panned out. We didn't have tough games, and we were able to do what we did and almost win the Super Bowl. So it's not like they need that. But all I'm saying
You know
is,
what would
think-
ease the pain if we happen to lose to the Niners? Signing Shaq Leonard, then getting the good juju backup Zach Ertz signing for
Zach Ertz would be
a
nice.
league
Yeah.
minimum, just to get him back with the. You know, those guys miss him in the locker room. The Brandon Grahams, the
Yeah.
you know.
can we talk about that? Because Rock is the number one guy. I already saw him do it today. He loves to call people washed, like immediately. He's washed. They're washed. He's washed, right? Look, here's the thing.
But he's going to get the backup tight end snaps. He's not going
here's
to
the
get the
thing.
Dallas
He's with his
Goddard
boys.
snaps.
Rock,
with his
you're
boys.
saying he's washed. That's not going to cost you any money. And you got what? Jack Stoll, who can catch a ball and block a little bit.
I'm
Who
not-
else do you have?
I'm not completely
Calzaretta,
against Zach
dude.
Ertz.
Calzaretta.
Listen, I'm not
Is he hurt?
completely against Zach Ertz. I just don't want them going out there and giving him a nice contract because he's a hometown boy.
We'll give him the absolute. He just got paid for the.
Yeah, he's got
entire
3
year
years.
from
Yeah,
Florida.
he's fine. Yeah,
Come on,
he's
dude.
there for a minute. Yeah.
Get your facts straight.
Well, listen,
You know?
if somebody, I mean,
It honestly looks
I don't
like
know. If they're
Shaq
worried about
Leonard is
somebody-
washed, to be honest with you.
Right.
yeah,
When you look at his last couple games with the Colts.
But that's a
But-
good example. He probably will
Yeah,
get-
I don't think
Nah.
he's going to be a great signing, honestly.
Yeah, but
Jack
again,
Leonard. Yeah,
what
that's
do
going
you
to be
have?
like who was the guy they signed from the Bears last year?
No, they traded for him, didn't
Robert
they?
Quinn. Yeah, right, yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a similar situation.
Right, he did nothing for. I didn't like. He did so much, so little. I don't even remember his fucking name.
No.
You know,
Robert Quinn, was that it was?
Yeah,
what
Robert
about when we
Quinn.
got Golden Tate? He did have that one catch in the
Yeah, the
touchdown.
catch that won us the.
He did.
The
Yeah,
playoff
the
game,
one.
so-
Yeah.
No,
He
but
did.
besides that, very
he was
good.
I mean,
he was
that's
fucking
what you
washed.
need.
Weren't we
He
gonna
was
weren't we
fucking
gonna bring
washed.
Sproles back again last year at some point too?
I'm gonna say
Jay Ajayi's coming back.
All right. So
Hey, listen, we'd be remiss if we went fucking 40 minutes of this podcast and didn't get into my man AJ over here. He's pretty much
I thought I was asking. I thought I was talking. Isn't this the
Yeah.
show?
I thought
no,
he was
but
not in.
we want to get into what you're up to. What you've been around forever in the internet world, and
Right.
you've been a very popular figure, and then you kind of just disappeared. Like you're not on Twitter, are you? Unless you're lurking on shit.
No.
Yeah,
No.
you're not like a vocal presence anymore, and people like I miss you, dude, and I can text you whenever I want, but I miss reading all the stories, and you're pretty much the funniest, most brilliant sports writer in that blog era. Like you perfectly encompass
You're exactly right.
that. He knows it. I mean,
I know it. I mean, no, I don't know that. I mean, there's the thing. And this is interesting because I mean, I haven't been on Twitter for a long period of time, right? But it's amazing how people think you're dead if you're not there, right?
somebody
Even though the whole
commented when I
platform.
said you were coming on this. They go, "AJ's still alive."
Everybody asks that, and that's because of the drug shit, though. But that's fine. I mean, I was, I was a person with problems, as
Right.
you say.
As I
But
say,
yeah.
listen,
That's fine. That's
Yeah.
fine. I get it. No, but I did. So Deadspin, I was there until 2011, right? And then
even go back before that because I was a fan of you when you were a Philly Mag. It was you and what was it, Richard Reese? Is it?
Rich Rice, yeah.
Yeah.
Rich Rice, yeah.
I mean, that was some quality stuff back then.
But the thing that was funny about that time period, and we were talking a little bit about this before, which is why I think anyone that's doing these types of shows that you're doing, especially at the time when teams are good. I mean, that's when you can actually
that's when you
continue
pounce.
to do this. That's when it can become a full-time job,
Yeah.
right? I mean, because I mean, you were doing was the Fightins a side hustle, or were you actually doing that?
It was a side hustle, but I was making money off T-shirts. But I was getting called in for interviews from Comcast Sportsnet. They wanted to, purchase the blog and hire me full time.
Yeah, and they bought 700 level, right?
Yeah, they bought 7, and he was him and you remember John Finker?
John
He worked
Finger.
at Comcast Sportsnet.
Yes.
He was a
Yeah.
Phillies writer. He was my boy back then. I haven't talked to him much in a while, but
me too. If you
shout
knew
out to
me
John
then, you'd
Finger.
be retired now, bro. We would have negotiated something.
No, you know what? I wasn't into what they were pitching. Like I would go to those meetings and I'd be like, these guys are fucking clueless. Like they don't know what the fuck they're talking. I might as well be talking to my mom. Like, no offense, mom, but you didn't know anything about sports blogs and revenue and traffic and shit. But you guys were just like clueless.
Right. Well, I mean, I think, and this is what was so interesting about that period of time was that it did feel a lot like it had replaced sports talk radio in a lot of ways, right? That was exactly where you can be a sports talk radio, but you can curse all the time, essentially, and say awful shit. And that became mainstream fairly quickly about that time period, and that's when places like Comcast were acquiring sites like yours and 700 level. I mean, the thing that I remember the most was that this was like this is probably one of my proudest moments was when I had like a little bit of heat around my career. My father was a huge fan of the Angelo Cataldi show.
He was always in there, wasn't he?
Well, I got him an internship.
Yeah.
And he was like a 70-year-old intern on the morning show with Angelo Cataldi. And it used to be funny because I was living in New York and I would come back and, like 6 o'clock in the morning when they know no one's listening and everyone's kind of stretching their legs and everything like that. So I would be there and I would forget that my dad would be on. It would be like my dad talking to like Ricky Batalico about like gas prices in the 70s because that's when they let them talk. They'd basically give them the warm-up act. But he took that job so seriously, and he would always call me and say, did you get a spike in traffic today? Because WIP mentioned Deadspin, right? And I'm like, but Mitch, I don't know if you remember when I did the Doc Ellis acid thing, right? So just for everybody here. So if you don't know the story about Doc Ellis, the pitcher for the Pirates, who allegedly pitched a no-hitter on acid. I think it was like MLB circa 2011 allowed you to kind of do these retro players. So I was Doc Ellis, and then I took acid for the first time, and I tried to pitch a no-hitter on the video game
games.
Playing video games, yeah. And I was terrible at this game too. So it was just me tripping my face off essentially for like 8 hours, right? But we put the story up and et cetera, and it does pretty well. And for some reason, I still don't know why, but my father is on there, and I think he was talking about something in regards to the wing ball, and my father was moralizing a bit. And then it was either Ricky Batalico or Keith Jones. I don't remember whom, but they brought up to my father just like, well, your son is doing acid on a national sports site, so like that. And my father has no idea what acid is either. So he calls me that night, right? And he just like, so I Googled what acid is. And then he's just given me like the most shameful sort of, fatherly sort of scolding.
Third degree, as they say.
Well, this is what he said, and I'll never forget this part. He's just like, you embarrassed me at my workplace.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm like, you fucking prick. I got you. You're the old guy in there that they let hang around because of me. Don't give me that stuff. But
that's great.
It was a shame because as I did have my problems at that point, as you say, right? And
listen, man.
That's fine. I just feel bad. I feel terrible for all the people that are with all these problems that they're in your way. But I used to be a regular on that show, and like a couple of other like Toucher and like all these kind of Goonie mornings crazy sports guy shows. So I would do 6:10, but I would always be hungover, right? And I would blow it a lot of times.
Yeah.
And Rhea Hughes like lit me up. Like, and it was one of those emails that if I think about it at night, I have to get up and throw water on my face and then walk around and sit in
I know those
room.
moments, dude.
But like my father called me again, just like, they're not letting me back anymore.
Oh, no.
I know. Just like, she was the kingmaker.
Yeah.
And to be fair, it was just like,
she crossed the king.
Well, she has a job to do. I was very responsible. They were very nice to me all the time.
Right.
But yeah, my father just died. I'm laughing. Sorry. My father just dies, like last year. And my mom's like, can you tell the people at WIP that he passed, right? And I emailed Rhea Hughes, nothing.
Oh, still after all these years,
doesn't respond.
She probably saw like last emails sent and brought back memories.
I know. Yeah, but God bless her. Yeah.
Now listen, AJ,
ice in her veins.
I'm a huge fan of yours. I think you're one of the funniest dudes in the world. I think one of the funniest things you ever did, and I want to tell a backstory on this. Back in 2000, Tyrone Hill and Charles Oakley both played on the Toronto Raptors. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Now, apparently, they play in dice games, card games on the plane. Tyrone Hill lost, I think it was, from what I remember, it was like $40,000 over the course of the year to Charles Oakley. He never paid him. Tyrone Hill signs with the Sixers in 2001. All right. There's a preseason game between the Raptors and the Sixers. Charles Oakley and Tyrone Hill get in a fight before the tip-off. Yeah, they're slapping each other at mid-court, and neither of them complain. They both get tossed. I don't know if they get tossed or they just got benched by their coaches, right? So there's obvious bad blood. There's bad history between Tyrone Hill and Charles Oakley. Fast forward like 11 years later, Spike TV, if you remember that, they had a show called Pros vs. Joes. to where these professional athletes would challenge regular dudes. Most of them would be like good athletes, or and you would have to do regular things, like you would have to try and outrun some track stuff. It was just all bullshit, right? Well, AJ, because he was with Deadspin, him and Will Leach at the time, from Deadspin, they got into the Pros vs. Joe's TV show, and it was a 2-on-2, and it was Charles Oakley and Charles Smith versus AJ and Will Leach, these two tiny white guys, right? You know what AJ did? He goes on to the show, he takes off his jersey, and he's got a Tyrone Hill Sixers jersey on under his jersey on the fucking show. It was like the biggest balls. Like, who knows? He could have killed him. Like, he could have just crushed him. It could have went horribly wrong.
Horribly wrong. Yeah.
Wait, where do you get a Tyrone? Can you get
it was $130 to get it, like, completely. I had to do it from scratch. Yeah.
He submitted the receipt to Deadspin as a write-off.
I mean, but that was the thing, and I was telling me too. It was just he wasn't really playing. Charles Smith was going hard. I mean, but Oakley, I don't think even noticed. Like, I think he was just on the other side, just basically counting money at that point. But I mean, yeah, I was absolutely convinced that he was going to throw me through a window.
Were you like hoping he would? I mean,
no, I wasn't.
I wouldn't have the balls to do that.
I mean, it was one of those things where I was like, he's got to laugh at that, right? I mean, because who would buy a Tyrone Hill jersey, right? I mean, for one thing, but I didn't think that that many people would catch it, right? Because it's just like,
well, probably not many people did, but people who the people who did catch it thought it was the greatest stunt ever pulled on Spike TV.
Thank you.
Like, I don't know if there's even a pantheon of great things. That might be number one of all time on Spike TV.
Well, all right. Well, at least I got that going for me.
Yeah.
Considering all my problems, I'm going to keep going back to this. Do you mind?
I'll regret saying that for the rest of this.
No, it's fine. It's fine. I love
if you're here with us, you must have some problems.
I mean, right?
This is where you come to reinvent yourself.
Man, wait, so you're the mayor's kid? That's what he's telling me.
Never heard of him. Who?
Mayor Edwardell.
I'm so glad you said that, because I'm here in my basement and I realized I have some amazing keepsakes. This is something I've been trying to show you guys for a long time. Check this shit out. You're gonna love it. All right, check this out.
A Rendelli.
Oh wow.
Oh, look at that shit.
6 feet. This is a hoagie box.
Schwarber doesn't even get that kind of treatment from
Hoagie Day, baby.
Yeah.
Let's go. Now.
Yeah, you should have opened up the Rendelli. Like, where's your entrepreneurial spirit? I'd have been back there cutting a.
That's what it is.
Now hold on.
The wall here.
Now hold on. I gotta bring this guy back because I just had an idea. Fink?
Amen, baby. Let's do it. Let's do it.
Recreates the Rendelli.
If only I knew somebody who had a hoagie shop that could bring the Rendelli back. Oh wait,
let's do it.
Podcast.
We can even order a 6-foot roll too, so we can like do the whole thing.
Shout out Lycios.
Yeah, I mean, the only reason I bring you up because your father was on WIP on the Glenn McNeil show for a while. Like, I used to call in, and my dad used to call into that show because he liked to talk on that show. My dad worked really hard to get a nickname, like for like he was going for Big Al. And then it turned out there was another Big Al already.
Yeah, Meltzer.
Surprise. But he's like, so he was Big Al from Ambler, and he expected everybody to know who that was. But he got to the front of the line sometimes on calls, But
it's amazing. Yeah, I mean, I have a long history kind of with sports radio myself. I used to, growing up, that's all I really listened to. And, my dad was part of lots of stuff. Like, Angelo Cataldi was just writing his book, and he's put his book out, and he's talking all about the Ricky Waters McNabb thing. Apparently he's putting a lot of that on my dad. We were actually just talking about it over at my dad's house about how that came to pass, because I was trying to recall if when they were going there, they got this bus of people going there. It wasn't a foregone conclusion, that the Eagles were not going to pick Ricky Williams and that they were going to boo. You know what I mean?
Right.
They weren't going there like to boo. It just kind of happened that way. But yeah, I have fun with all of that. And so I used to work with Rhea Hughes too, actually, randomly. It's a long story, but she ghosted me as well and disregards
Well,
me.
there we go. Yeah.
We have that in common.
Yeah. You should bring her on the show now.
I know.
We should all be here and
I don't think
attack
she-
her. Yeah.
I don't
You
think
should
she
bring her
wanted
on the
an
show and
answer
just
to
not talk to her.
Send her to the street.
Well, I could stay here and talk all night, but unfortunately, just like you guys took like a half hour to bullshit beforehand, and now I got to go put kids to bed. No.
That's okay.
But can I come back at some point? 'Cause
Absolutely. AJ, it's an open invitation. You have a standing open invitation to join the City Pigeons.
I'll let you guys vote on it, and then we can talk later. But I appreciate you having me. This is always
Hey,
fun.
man.
Thank you.
Good
Thank
talking
you
to
for
you.
joining us.
Have a good one.
Yes, anytime.
All right, man. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Yo, just to keep everyone updated on how easy it is to win in the NFL, you got the Cowboys down 21-20 to the Seahawks at home at halftime. So there you go. So
Wait,
easy to
what's-
win.
It's easy to win in the NFL.
Yeah, I mean, you guys are everyone's saying how the Eagles are lucky and they're not playing well, and look at the big bad Cowboys. They're losing at halftime at home to the Seahawks.
Rock, they don't
You
want
know,
to see.
it's-
They don't want to look at that. They just want to criticize the Eagles because they win close games.
Exactly.
The Cowboys
Exactly.
losing
That's
this
it.
game tonight would be the most Cowboys thing you could ever possibly do. And I'm so down for that. So
Exactly.
If it makes you feel better, Rock, I'm with you. It's all
Yeah.
about winning. Who
Exactly.
the hell cares if it's pretty? I don't give a shit. Give me that W.
Yeah.
listen, but here's the thing. I'm with you too, but
But
no, just hear me out. You guys know last year we won a ton and we get to the Super Bowl and we lose it and nothing else matters. Okay. And all I'm telling you is if we don't figure out how to be better for a longer
be
period
better
of time-
than what? We're 10-1.
Seriously.
Man, you telling
Jesse,
me
I had a great time with you at the Super Bowl. I'm really sorry to hear that it wasn't mutual.
We were
We
down
lost.
10 points going into the second half against KC and Buffalo Bills, who were both supposed to be these high-powered offenses, and we came back and won.
It don't
What
matter.
What else do you
Shut
want?
KC out in the second half at
It
home.
don't matter.
Look,
This
Jesse's
You
is-
need
looking
a
for that
W.
perfect game, dude. He's looking for the
No, I'm
perfect
not.
game, looking for
Listen.
no mistakes.
I just
Exactly.
feel like you cannot sustain this scenario all the way through the Super Bowl. I don't believe it. Like eventually you put yourself in a bad position and then you can't recover from that. So all I'm asking is for these guys to come out and just smoke somebody right from the jump. You know what I mean? And just come on. And by the way, that doesn't even matter. Like what matters
But that
once
doesn't
the playoffs
happen. That
start.
doesn't happen against other good teams in the NFL. You just don't come out and smoke them. You play close games, and the better
Smoked
team wins
A
in
lot
the
of
end.
teams last year, bro.
A lot of good teams. A lot of good teams.
Here's
Look at the
thing.
quarterbacks
The
who
Chiefs
started
were
in the
down 10
games
points.
last year. Wasn't that a thing to discount the Eagles last year about who the quarterbacks were that we were playing
That's
and
right.
stuff
There's
like
always
that?
something.
And you
There's
blow
always
them out.
But
And now
here's
you're
the deal.
playing really good teams in this
Look.
gauntlet. And guess what, Jesse? We're the fucking gauntlet, okay?
Yeah, baby.
We are
Yeah,
10-1,
don't
top of
matter.
the
Virtue
NFL.
down, buddy.
Ba, 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 ba.
All that
Rock,
matters.
correct me if I'm wrong. I think what
Keeping
you're
the main
saying
thing
is
the main thing.
the Chiefs were down 10 points at halftime in the Super Bowl, and they won the game. And
They
no
did.
one's talking about like, oh, it was ugly. They're
was
saying,
ugly,
yo, they
yeah.
won the fucking game.
Yeah, that's the way
Actually,
it is in the NFL, man.
Every team we play in every sport just cries now. It's become a custom.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's like the-
and I don't even feel sorry for them at this point. I just love it and I almost expect it. And all we do, like when we lose, like in the Super Bowl, we threaten to kill their groundskeeper. Like it's such there's different
Exactly.
levels to fandom. You know what I mean? Like we don't complain. We're just like we should murder their
Learn how-
groundskeeper, like the Sodfather. We should probably hunt him down.
The Buffalo News today covered someone.
Did you
They
see
made a
that,
Josh Allen snowman, and it was an Eagles like green hand as a
Somebody built
horse
snowman
collar.
of Josh Allen getting horse collar tackled by an eagle. Like that's how pathetic these people are. This is what they resort to when they lose. They build
the Eagles
snowmen
break teams.
of
The
like
Philly, all Philly
players
sports
that
teams
happen
are
in the
breaking
head.
these teams.
Look, last year we largely kicked everybody's ass all the way to the Super Bowl. We got kind of lucky with how the playoffs broke. I think the one thing I've learned is you got to get there. Then once you're there, you got to win it. So it doesn't matter how you get there, right? It doesn't matter how you get there. You just got to get there, and then you got to win it when you're there. And I just worry that, you can't keep trying to recover from your own shortcomings and mistakes over and over. And there's a pattern there, right? So my hope is just over the last quarter of the season, whatever it is, that we can start to figure some of this out. And, some of you guys are so full of shit. Rock.
Jesse doesn't know Jalen Hurts like we know Jalen.
No, listen to this. Rock, you're so full of shit. You've been calling for Brian Johnson. You've been calling for Brian Johnson's head for like 6 weeks.
Yeah, I think he sucks.
Yeah. Quiet. They win an overtime momentous thing, and you're like, I'm in. Yeah. No, you're full of shit, okay? You don't believe in Brian Johnson. You don't believe in his ability to call plays.
I don't, but I believe in Jalen Hurts' ability to fucking audible out of some dog shit that he calls at the line and get the W, man. So,
by the way, you want to know something? And it's a fact. A lot of what happened in the first half. Did you guys see what was going on there early in the game? Did you see what was going on? Were you watching the game? Because a certain somebody, and listen, I'm not, everybody loves Jalen Hurts. It's not whatever. But he changed his plays too. You know what I mean? And so I'm just saying, it doesn't always gel perfectly all around. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But at the end of the day, enjoy it.
Exactly.
Enjoy the win.
You guys got to keep in mind, people are, you got to run the ball. You got to run the ball. Well, guess what? We don't know. They call a run. They change the play. Like, we don't know that.
Did you see that Brandon Graham? He was mic'd up during the game. And it was in overtime. He's going, I don't know why y'all running. You never seen Jalen Hurts? We know y'all ain't know Jalen Hurts like we know Jalen. Like, he's like, keep running. You're just wasting clock. It was the funniest thing, man. In overtime, he's got enough energy to be impacting at the line and talking shit. What a guy.
And
the thing is, like, I love the video when he, like, it says, like, football play happens. Like, he stops talking shit just during the play, and then as soon as it's done, he's like, you don't know Jalen Hurts. You don't know him like we do. Like, he just doesn't stop. I love him so much.
But do you guys realize, okay,
that we're 10-1? Yeah, man. Best team in the NFL.
I don't want to sound like I'm beating the drum of anxiety over and over, but hear me out. The Phillies, right? We love this freaking team. Losing the World Series, losing the NLCS. Eagles, we couldn't be higher on Jalen Hurts and how great this team is. They lost in the Super Bowl. I'm just telling you, they have to win, right? Because we could end up after 3 or 4 years of these teams that we love with all our heart and soul, and it can't get better than it is right now. We have to have something to show for it. We have to.
Yeah.
I agree, but the Phillies were leaking oil. We knew they had holes. We ignored them.
They were not leaking oil. They were up on the fucking D-backs. What are you talking about?
I didn't watch.
Mark, they had to win 1 game of 2 at Citizens Bank Park against the fucking shit D-backs. That's not leaking oil, man.
That's a choke job.
I feel like you're an apologist.
That's not leak. There's a difference between leaking.
Their entire approach was flawed, and the Eagles' approach is genius. I don't know how.
What do you mean? The approach of letting the other team like dominate you and then coming back?
No, the mentality, the teamwork, the doing the little things. The Phillies were boom or bust, and I'm not knocking them for it, but they lived and died with it. And the Eagles are a much more well-rounded, dynamic team that can win in different ways. The Phillies could only win one way, and the Eagles can win in lots of different ways.
It's true. Mm-hmm.
It's got a point.
Who do you think's got more pressure on to win this game? The Eagles or the Niners? I feel like the Niners have more pressure for sure. They talk so much shit after that loss. Oh, if we had a quarterback.
But the number 1 seed has never been bigger, and this would be a huge step towards locking it up. And I think there's some pressure there. I really do.
We're coming up on the 1 hour mark. Can we all agree on one thing? My son Max made the JV team for Holy Ghost. Their first game is this Saturday against Neshaminy. 2:30 at Holy Ghost. Can we all root for Max Meach?
Beautiful.
Can we all root for my man He's a freshman.
Is he going to be rocking those wrenches?
So he had last pick of jerseys. He's wearing number 42 like he's fucking Mike Jaminski or
Walt
something.
Williams.
Why are they even issuing 42? They're not supposed to issue 42.
Well, they did.
Yeah, that's my old head league number. Maybe he saw me out there balling and wanted to be like, man,
inverse Kobe. Just look at it that way.
Guys, maybe he can find the tap in your trunk while he's at it.
I found it. I gave it back to Matt. We're all good.
Hey, while we're going around it, maybe this is a new City Pigeon segment, but while we're going around with like a personal moment, can I share one?
Absolutely.
It's been a long time.
No, can we?
It's been no, you can't. You've learned this, and you love needling me with that. It's been a long time since the Temple Owl basketball team led off Sports Center at 11 o'clock p.m., which they did last night with Scott Van Pelt. And I was at the 3 overtime game, and this team may not be the end all be all, but I just got to give some props to my Temple Owls, putting up 106 points in triple overtime, beating LaSalle, and they're playing in the Big Five, this new Big Five championship game Saturday at the Wells Fargo Center.
You know what? It's funny
because
Mark? I haven't been paying any attention.
Going with the whole fam.
Nice.
My buddy who works down there asked me if I wanted to go, and I was like, "What is this Big Five championship?" I looked it up, and I saw that Temple was in the championship game, and Penn is playing LaSalle, which I might go to, just for fun. But
it's so funny. Nova's playing in the 5th place game
against Drexel.
I love it.
I went to Drexel.
I know, but and I love Malik. I love Malik Rose.
I just thought,
go
I love the back to great Jim.
Yeah.
I just thought when you were, talking about Sports Center and Temple that we were going to be talking about it like some sort of legitimate win. I mean, you're talking about, did you say they beat LaSalle?
Oh, come on.
No, I thought it would be like
40. What did he put up? 41?
I know, but I just thought it would be like, somebody other than a,
Jess, you better not hear my boy Kip talking about it.
Hasn't been
talking about LaSalle like that. He's not going to be too happy.
Penn beat Villanova. Just saying.
Although
when you score 106
hour and
points
2
in
mark of the
triple
show,
overtime,
it's a very slim chance right now. So you can pretty much say whatever the fuck you want.
Guys, to be clear, this is for us at this point. Know that.
Fresher. Yeah, this is like a group FaceTime call. I love it, guys.
That's what it is. And Meech, here's the funny thing. We can't get anybody, we can't get the whole group on the pre-production call. So this is essentially the call. This is the production call for the episode during the episode. Thank you guys.
We had to take the puppy to the emergency vet.
Nonsense.
Right. Yeah. All right.
Swear to God, blue pearl vet right on Front Street. I wouldn't lie on my dog.
says nonsense. The kid's dog.
I wouldn't lie.
He says
that's a HIPAA violation. That's a doggy HIPAA violation, Fink.
No, that's
the dog is fine.
No,
that's Fink's personal moment. Jessica's doing her dishes, and
we're helping people through the dishes.
Rock and Jesse, do you have any personal moments to share?
Hold on, I got a question. Is Jessica anyone's family member? Because if Jessica's listening to this doing her dishes, then she's a real one. I could not admire her more.
Can she win a T-shirt too?
She's got to be somebody that we know. She's got to be.
No, I don't.
Yeah, the winner was Captain Beard Guy, by the way. That's who won the T-shirt. But we also got to give Ord a T-shirt too for coming up with it.
I bet. Yeah, dude. We met at the watch party. Yeah, baby. Hell yeah, sweet Babette. That's what I'm talking about. Hey.
Hi, Jess.
Thank you for watching this to the hour and 3 minute mark. We appreciate you.
I bid you adieu.
I can keep on going.
Yeah. And look, I think with that, we'll just bail and we'll pick this up next time. I don't even know, but we're going to go get this game.
Shout out to sponsors. Shout out Gnome Architects, JBMP.
JBMP.
Creative Outfit, Kenwood Beer, Fink's Hoagies, Spectre Art.
Yo,
shout out everybody.
She's still at the tailgate.
Yo, Meech.
I mean, whatever.
You
forgot the Goodhart firm, dude. What are you doing, man?
I said Goodhart. Goodhart was like my second or third one. Come on.
Meech, the only sponsor of this episode right now is the Goodhart firm because Mark is here. So that's it. Mark gets top billing.
And NBA Jam.
and the NBA Jam that you broke. Shit, we got it. We got to
If
get
anybody wants to donate for a new NBA Jam at the Coop, Venmo's at Mike Meach.
Yeah,
I thought your
you're
kid
right.
was gonna. I thought your kid was gonna hotwire that thing and fix it up.
If we got a new box for it, which I'll get it. We got to
If
get
anyone
NBA
wants to
Jam.
donate to my parlays, my Venmo's Eric J. Fink. We can do some parlays together. I won't cut you in, but
By the
I'm
way,
accepting
Fink,
donations.
you won Meach a lot of money the other day. He was very happy at the Eagles game.
I'm a sicko, man. Once in a while, them things hit.
But the rest of us were lamenting that these weren't
Thanks for
shared.
sharing, Fink.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Fink.
Speaking of parlays, where's Halliburton at, Meach?
No good. I think he had like 38 last time I saw.
Oof.
Stop scoring.
Jesse, I'll see you down the Wells Fargo.
I know
on
he's got
Saturday.
44, but there's 26 seconds left.
I won't be there for the
Oh.
championship game.
Well,
Anyway,
All
you're not gonna stay.
Go Birds.
I don't know. I'll see you on
Birds.
Sunday, hopefully.
Anybody got
Yeah.
anybody got any extra tickets? You know Rock will take them. So if
gotta-
one thing we know is Rock will take that
Rock,
extra
you got to
ticket.
hit your boy John Ellis in the kneecap, Nancy Kerrigan style, if you want to go.
Nah, I'll let him. I mean, I'll let Bird go. But just know I got a good track record of going to games. I pretty much
You're
will-
10-1.
Yeah, pretty much. Like I don't think I've seen many losses in my time going to games. So kind of like a good luck charm. So
I'll do it for you, Rock, for the right price.
Gentlemen, my wife misses me. She wants me home.
Yeah, we got to go. Bye.
You guys are already
Till
home.
next
I
time.
got to drive 20 minutes.
go Birds.
Right.
Be safe.
You guys are the best. Love you
No,
all
we're
the time. Peace.